Okay, we're going to go ahead and move into Immersant, which is a application that is run actually native within iOS. So to get into Immersant, I'm going to drill in through iOS into DC6, which is here in Phoenix, Arizona. Drill into Arizona Phoenix System 1, and then I'm going to go down here to the left-hand side and select the icon in the module section. You'll notice Immersant now opens within the same window as iOS. The navigation tools are there in the help section if you're not familiar with the navigation and how to move within Immersant. You will need a keyboard and a mouse to navigate. This isn't available via touchscreen today. So within the tool, we can now actually navigate a 3D alternative reality version of a module. The interesting part about this is that we are actually going to be able to provide real-time data within the module. So as we're moving around, seeing data or drilling into different elements, as you see the names change there on the screen, these are different elements within a module that what we actually have sensor data on, and we can see this information and see the real-time specs if the things are on or off, if a valve is open or closed. So you're able to move and navigate around the module. As you can see, we're on the raised floor upper deck section right now. We just walk down below as if we are crawling into the crawl space below the module, and we are now within the module. So you can see this is a makeup air handling unit, and by selecting makeup air handling unit, I was actually able to see the measurements here on the lower right hand side as I scrolled through the different measurements available on the makeup air handling unit. These are all active real-time data. If I wanted to drill into one of those data points, I could actually select one of those, and it would actually open up within iOS the data point that I'm looking at. As you can see, I'm moused over right now the air handling unit. It gives you some quick data that is relative for an air handling unit, and then by selecting it, I actually have some data here on the bottom right. You can also navigate now underneath of the HUD aisle, where I am now underneath where the chilled water pipes come in. So I can see the valves, and this is as if you are climbing or crawling underneath of a module, and you will now see the different components within the module subfloor space. And we can select certain components that we have data on. So as you see here, I can select a chilled water valve supply, and by selecting that, the measurements on the right-hand side now updated with the measurements that are coming off of that exact valve. And you can do this for any of the areas where we actually have data points coming off of. So as you can see, I'm kind of crawling around, kind of giving a 360 view of what would be underneath this bay behind the makeup air handling unit. So we were on the other side prior to. And I can crawl down between or to the next bay. And on that bay, there's a leak detection sensor. So I can actually select the leak detection sensor. And as you can see on the measurement on the right-hand side, it says the leak detection sensor is okay. So that's the real-time active data we're getting from that. As I crawl to the middle of the module, I'm actually able to see the valve, the shutoff valve, underneath the HUD aisle on the chilled water pipes. So I could drill in and see if the valves are open or closed. As you see here, these are both open. And then as I make my way all the way to Bay 01, I am actually able now to see the ABB control system, which is housed there underneath the HUD aisle in Bay 01. By selecting that, I can see the measurements coming off of our control system, and you can scroll through those. Once again, those are active sensors where we're pulling this data. This is all relative to give you not only an idea of what's below the floor, but the data really doesn't matter to you unless you know where it's coming from and you understand what you're actually measuring. And this tool, Immersant, allows you to give that real-time view as if you are drilling into a module. If you were sitting underneath of the bay, you could do these elements without much guessing on where you were within the module. So we've now moved above to the raised floor space, and I'm now entering into the cold aisle, where you can actually see a PDU where I've drilled into PDU B, and now scrolling along the measurements here along the bottom right-hand side. The cabinets are also going to give you the kilowatt per cabinet there across the top, and you can walk across and down the HUD aisle as well as the cold aisle, giving you relative data. Depending on the data being exposed from the cabinets, will depend on exactly how much you can actually see in the cabinet. Some cabinets will give you the software or servers or service that is running in it. Other ones, we'll just get the power utilization of that server. As you can see here, I'm in the other aisle where I can drill down to the back side of the PDU, as well as see the real-time temperature on the wall. This is relative to the sensors that are there right now in this module. Remember, this is dynamic real data that I'm looking at, so these are real points. This isn't something made up from the standpoint of the temperature going on in that aisle today. Here on cab 2 and cab 3, I could actually see the software that is running, so we have Jive and some SAP software running in those cabinets. The reason that you're able to see that data is it's actually I/O gear. Therefore, we've exposed what is running inside those cabinets. If it is a customer's solution, we of course would not be able to see what was running inside the cabinets unless they gave us access to that. By selecting the letter I on your keyboard, it overlays an infrared within the module, so you can see some heat transfer and how the heat is corresponding per each one of the cabinets. Once again, that's just by pressing I, and then you can press it again to take it off. And this is very good information for capacity planning, as well as maybe some decisions that you will make on where inside a module you would want to put certain gear based on what you have in there today. And so the infrared overlay gives you that ability. We are now on the outside where you can see the security components that are available on the module, walking around the raised floor. And from the outside of the module in Immersant, you can also drill in these components. So if you didn't want to drill in below and I wanted to look at one of these air handling units or the makeup air handling unit, I could select the element from the raised floor and view the measurements and statistics as well. Here you see the infrared overlaid within the aisle, showing the temperature, that is the A-side temperature, and the relative humidity in that temperature based on the sensors that are providing that information back to the IOOS. We are now on the outside of the module, kind of drilling back to give you kind of the overall view of the different spaces. To understand the space within a module is key. Understanding when you're inside of a module, looking at the support space, you understand that's below the floor and the tech space being above the floor. That is our Immersant solution.